So when I started teaching, all rubrics were holistic rubrics. You would look at the quality of a kid's work and say that it meets this criteria or it did not. And they especially use this in English language arts, but really that is appropriate across the domains. Is you have the body of work. I mean, this is basically what we've done for all time before rubrics really became popular. Is the teacher would look at the student's work and give them a grade based on the, all the criteria and all the things that they would take off points for this and that. But it really was the whole project all together.
Now, when I started teaching, I used a different rubric entirely, and they were more analytical rubrics. So this is where everything was pieced apart, and everything was assigned a different amount of points. And these rubrics proved to be problematic. When I started grading my students' assignments, their assignments didn't fall into these categories, and I found myself manipulating points and changing the criteria to try to give them the grade that I thought the project needed, not really based on the rubric. So
or worse, the teachers actually let it go with the rubric and let it be detrimental to their score or be overly inflated because that's the way the math worked out. But let's be honest, the percents and points that you put on those categories are totally arbitrary. So, to live and die like it is exactly this point value and this percentage, when you look at the kids' work and you're like, well, I think they did better or worse than what the rubric says, and that you feel like you don't have any professional judgment in that, I have a problem with that.
So the rubric in this course is designed to reflect that
holistic style.
Right, instead of the analytic style. So you don't have points for each category, but we look at your work on a whole.
Yeah, so what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to self-assess yourself at the end of the semester and say, I met this criteria. It's up front. You know up front what you need to do if you want an A. You're going to participate in the Google Plus community. You're going to do lesson plans, and you're going to be a collaborator with group mates and all the other things that the rubric has you doing. So you should know exactly whether or not you're going to get an A or not. Just read it, look at it, and do those things. It's going to be really easy. It's not going to be a mathematical numbers game, which again, totally arbitrary. Instead, it's going to be based on you providing evidence that you've met the criteria. Simple.
Sounds kind of crazy right now, but I think it'll all make sense by the end of the semester.
Totally will. So we'll see you at the end of the semester at your final student portfolio, which I'm really looking forward to.